Some of us still carry the burden of battle. It threatens to drown us in our everyday lives. In battle, we had our weapons and combat gear to keep us safe, to keep us confident. But when we returned home, we were not armed with weapons and gear to cope with our own minds. I was lucky to find my combat gear, my mental weapon, and it's called Calmago. Calmago is a drug-free device that allows you to achieve calm in less than 3 minutes. In moments of anxiety, stress, anger, panic, or insomnia, not with medication, but rather by activating the parasympathetic nervous system through breathing regulation and multisensory stimulation. A recent study has shown that Calmago decreases PTSD and anxiety levels in veterans, helping those who are suffering and having a long-lasting effect. Visit Calmago.com to learn how you can get Calmago through the VA or with a special veterans discount code.
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm blessed, my brother. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Hey, did you see the game last night?
Oh, that was a good game.
But did you see the shot?
I lost money from that shot.
Oh, man, that shot was cold,
I
man.
hated it, but it was good. Damn. What's in those jeans?
You really want to know?
I do.
Yeah.
Exhaustion, muscle spasms, asthmatic issues, unexpected sickle cell trait crises.
Damn. Are you serious? When I was young, I found out I had sickle cell trait. My mom's told me, but I ain't have no knowledge of it. But when I got older, I had a child, and the doctor told me my daughter has sickle cell trait. You know the facts that both parents have sickle cell trait, there's a 50% chance the child may have the trait, and 25% chance the child may have the disease.
Hey, that's what's the count. Do you know that 2.5 million people in the United States have sickle cell trait, 300 million people globally? I didn't find out I had sickle cell trait until I was in the Army 10 years. Next thing you know, I had a sickle cell trait exertion site.
Sickle cell? I thought that was a black gene or something.
Nah, man, the Latin community is number 2. 1 out of 36,000 babies are being born with sickle cell disease. You could be Caucasian, Mediterranean, European. You gotta know your bloodline, man. There is an inherited gene in our community that has been forgotten. The name is sickle cell trait. WDCONSCT, also known as What's the Count, is out to bring awareness, education, and prevention to people all over the globe. Want more information? Call us now at 323-215-5384 or visit www.wdconsct.org. Zetovia salve, made from natural and organic ingredients, good for inflammation, poor circulation, hemorrhoids, yeast infection, lip sores, dry coughs, eye pain, minor cuts and bruises, and ready to purchase at botanicaherbalco.com. 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 Tune in to the Farron Dozier Show on KCA Radio 106.5 FM, 1050 AM, also streaming from the KCARadio.com website on Sunday nights at 8 p.m. Pacific Time. Brought to you by Sports Collective TV, Sports Collective Radio, and Sports Collective Media. We got the Heme Factor, we got In the Zone, and we got Fourth Down in the 20-second timeout sports segment. All for you right here on the Farron Dozier Show on KCA Radio 106.5 FM, 1050 AM, also streaming from the KCARadio.com website with my guest hosts Robert Lamar and Coach Will. Catch us on Sports Collective Media on Instagram and Facebook, and make sure you watch us Sunday nights at 8 p.m. on KCA Radio 106.5 FM, 1050 AM, also streaming from the KCARadio.com website. Music, talk, sports, and so much more on the Farron Dozier Show. All right. Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you for tuning and listening to a special episode of the Farron D Show. This is a lupus awareness panel discussion. If you've caught the other episodes from the beginning of the month, we've had a great time interviewing people living with lupus. I had some veterans as well that were living with lupus. So again, I appreciate you for listening and tuning in. This is me sharing my platform with the lupus community since 2011, and so this year, I wanted to make sure I was able to do that for the month of May. After I thought about it, I realized that last year, as I had planned the Lupus Awareness Month show, I had jury duty. I got a jury duty notice, and so I canceled the show for that month. I think I got that notice in like April, and so I canceled it for May because I thought when I went, I was supposed to be on this case that was going to last like 5 weeks or so. So I canceled all the episodes. Well, guess what? I got picked again for jury duty today, but this time it's towards the end of the month, so at least I can do this. This might be the last episode for the Lupus Awareness Month, since it is the 20 whatever the day is. I lost the count for the day. 23rd. So at least we got it in for the first 23 days, right? So tonight, very special because we wanted to have a panel discussion. So we wanted to have multiple guests on at one time. The previous episodes were just, one-on-one talks with people living with lupus. But tonight we wanted to have a panel discussion so that you can hear the different perspectives of people living with lupus, but also some supporters. And speaking of supporters, I want to bring on my teammate first, Renata, and her daughter, Isabella. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine.
What's up, Isabella? How you doing? So, Renata, do me a favor. Introduce yourself and your daughter, and then we'll move on.
Well, I'm Renata. I had lupus for 12 years almost. This is Isabella, my daughter. I was diagnosed with lupus when she was 1.5. So the whole time I was pregnant with her, I had lupus, and they just didn't catch it.
Thank you. Renata and I are not strangers. We met on the LA Talk Live show that I had probably like 2016, probably somewhere 15 or 16. 14? It might have been 14, huh? That might have been 14. So we've been connected ever since then, going back and forth, talking and having discussions. And she also was an inspiration to having this episode. Matter of fact, in supporting me with this whole Lupus Awareness Month. So I thank you for helping me find guests. Like you got it in behind the scenes. So she's finally. Well, I interviewed you too, though, on the FM show, right? A couple months ago.
Yes.
So thank you for supporting this topic with me. Let me bring up.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of it.
Thank you. Let me bring up Alicia. Hello, Alicia. How you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
Hey, good. Thank you for hanging out tonight.
It's a pleasure.
Do me a favor, introduce yourself. Just give a little bit away, but don't tell all of it.
My name is Alicia. I live in Atlanta, Georgia. I just got diagnosed with lupus September 26, 2023.
Oh, wow.
Wow, recently. Thank you so much for being open to share tonight. I got one more guest. We got one more. What's happening, lady?
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good.
Kareem, can you do me a favor and also introduce yourself, but don't give it all away?
Okay. Hello, my name is Corina Rios, and I was diagnosed in 2015 with lupus. And I'm from Texas.
Texas. We got Georgia, Texas, California. Let's get right into it. We set it for an hour, so whoever got to check out early, you're more than welcome to check out if you got to go. But I blocked out this hour. I want to start with Isabella. Your mom shared that she's been dealing with lupus. She got diagnosed when you were 1.5 or so. For a young woman growing up, and I think about, because I interview athletes too, right? And you think about athletes who have parents who live with some type of chronic illness. But everybody's living with something. How was it for you as a young lady growing up and and seeing your mom manage this chronic illness? What is that like for you?
Well, and sometimes it was like hard to deal with because I didn't know like how to help her when she was like hurting and in pain. But over time, I noticed that like she dealt with it really well. So there was nothing I really could have done. But I did try to help her, and like I really did try to help her.
I like how you said you realized that there was nothing that you could have done to help her because she's got to manage that. That is to me so important for people who support others with lupus because as human beings we want to help. We want to help take away that pain. We want to do whatever we can, but sometimes we can't. How did you figure that out?
Well, I mean, it's just the type of person she is. Like, even if it wasn't pain, she would still deal with her stuff on her own.
I would imagine, you know, growing up as a young teen, the identity crisis of you for yourself already trying to fit in with your friends, that transition from elementary to middle school is already challenging for human beings. How do you deal with that and sharing with your friends that your mom is dealing with this? Does that ever come up?
Yeah, I do sometimes because, like, my friends know her very well, so sometimes they'll notice how she's feeling, and they'll be like, "Oh, like, is your mom okay?" And I just explain to them that she does have lupus.
Yeah. If you had to describe lupus in your own words, how do you describe lupus?
Um, Maybe like I I'd say stressful.
Stressful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Renata, that's your child. That's your daughter.
Yes.
How is that from a mother to daughter to give her that level of peace so she doesn't worry about you? How do you do that?
I just get up. I get up every day with her and I talk to her about it and I just let her know that she's a part of my strength.
Mm.
Like, she's the reason why I go on because it could have been different. They didn't think I was going to make it overnight. So just the thought of her being so young, I made sure that I fought harder to be a part of her life. And at one point, she used to think that she was the reason why I was diagnosed with lupus.
Mm.
And so I had to constantly remind her that that wasn't the reason. It wasn't her fault. So I reassure her that for a few years until she got comfortable to know that it wasn't really her fault because she asked me multiple times. So
Isabella, um, that's normal for us as people to think that what did I do? Did I do something to create this to happen? It happens, unfortunately, even in divorces, where sometimes the children make that divorce mean about themselves. That's why we suffer when parents break up like that. So, how did you finally settle that part? Like, okay, mom, I got it. It's not my fault. Like, how did you settle that?
Well, it wasn't easy because I mean I kind of like always felt that way, but she always reassured me, so I stopped feeling bad about it.
Hmm, that's good. Thank you. All right. So, who do you want to start with? Alicia, you are recently the most recent diagnosis. So please give us some background and talk about what was going on that led up to you having to go figure out your diagnosis around this lupus conversation.
Well, it started off with me having stomach real bad abdominal pains.
Mhm.
So it started in May. I thought it was food poisoning. So it happened in May. It happened in July, June, July, and I went in August. So I couldn't take the pain anymore. So I went to the emergency room. It took them a couple of days to figure out what was wrong. What I thought they said I should have went back in May, but
Mm.
I thought it was food poisoning Cause like a lot of people were sick around that time when it was that bad bug going around in May. That's
Yeah.
what I thought it was. So I was for the May. It was like after Mother's Day weekend. I remember exactly. It was after Mother's Day weekend. I was sick for like 4 days straight, throwing up, stomach pain, sleep on had to sleep on the floor. I don't
Wow.
want to get comfortable.
Before that, did you notice
Mm-mm.
what was going on in life?
Mm-mm.
Nothing.
No. No. I didn't have no signs or none of that before.
You
I
know
had
they
just, I had
oh,
just turned 39 back in
39.
June last year. So I thought it was stomach virus.
You know they say that lupus, because it's an autoimmune um, disorder, that sometimes stress can cause it, sometimes it's inherited, sometimes the environment that we live in can cause it. Anything looking back, kind of like brings.
It probably was stress, but it's kind of crazy 'cause I really didn't have no symptoms
Yeah.
like being sick. You know when how when you grow up you have a stomach virus, your mama say just go lay down, get your ginger ale, you be all
Well,
right.
did you
That's
real to
what I
seven
thought.
up?
I thought it was the whole time. I lost weight. I lost a lot of weight behind that, and then it happened again, and I'm like, dang, this ain't right. And I went to urgent care. They gave me they said I looked really bad. They gave me like the moxtail to take. So then I went again, same thing. Cause they were about to call the paramedics to come pick me up, but I got well then.
Oh
Then it
wow.
happened. So the day before I went to the emergency room, they gave me something for it. I got better, but that same as that next day, my stomach was cramping too bad, and I'm not gonna lay on the floor. I ain't gonna do. Let me go to the emergency room, and I did. It took them some days. 'Cause I was in the hospital for 10 days, so it took them some days to even figure out what's wrong. They thought it was Crohn's disease. They thought they were gonna have to cut my stomach before they
Wow.
did the CAT scan and everything. So, but on the 26th, that's when they found out what it really was. That's how I remember it was September 26th.
When you finally got that diagnosis of it being lupus, I mean, how did you feel? How did you take that?
Um, I just okay. I was like okay, cause it wasn't no death date, so I was very happy. I was like okay, lupus, okay, cause my aunt has it, but hers is a mild condition, and she found out when she had hers when she was pregnant with her first child. So that's how she found out she had lupus. So I was like okay. Mm. But I also have two other disease with the lupus.
Wow. Are you open to share that, or are we just gonna leave it at the
Yeah,
lupus?
I can. I have it's the SLE lupus, the Cincinnati.
Okay. Yeah,
I
yeah,
have
yeah.
I have the it's something to do with my vasculitis. It's a I the initials I give it is HUVS. It's like hypo complement. It do with my vasculitis. That's why my hands are two different colors. And I got all these spots. You probably can
Yeah,
see. So then I
yeah.
have the hereditary angioedema.
Wow.
So I have yeah.
How did you share that with your family once you got the diagnosis?
My mom was there with me, and my aunt came up there. Then we just broke it down to everybody like I have lupus. Then we told them about the other stuff. But what the doctors thought was going to happen, it didn't happen that way.
Yeah.
So I've been on steroids since September
Hmm.
of last year. This I go get another infusion June 12th. This would be the fifth attempt to get me off steroids.
Hmm.
Steroids cause me. I'm also a diabetic because of
Hmm.
steroids. I've been
Hmm.
going to the hospital since September.
Wow.
Like if it's not it's once out the month or twice out the month, and I have to
Wow.
stay, and I stay for days in the hospital.
Wow. Thank you.
So yeah, I stay for days in the hospital, like days, like 4 or 5 days in the hospital.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you so much. All right, let's go to Karina. How are you?
I'm good.
So you said you were diagnosed in 2015. Did I hear?
Yes.
So talk about what was going on for you in life that led up to that doctor's visit.
Well, in 2009, I was in a car accident and I could never heal. My shoulders always hurt. I was always in pain for anything. And it just progressed more. I would go to the doctors. They just thought that I wanted pain pills.
Mm,
And in 2014, I had a mild heart attack
mm,
in August of 2014. And after that, there's where the doctor came and said, "What's going on?" And I told him, I said, "I'm always in pain, always. Been from doctor to doctor." So they started running tests. So in 2015, that was when I was diagnosed with lupus. It was really scary, but at least I had something. I wasn't crazy.
so again, for you getting the diagnosis, kind of gave you a level of relief of
It
to
did.
understand what's going on with your body.
Yes. That's the worst thing, that you describe all your pain, but the doctors are just like, she just needs pain medication. She's just seeking drugs. I didn't want that.
Yeah.
I wanted to know what was wrong with me.
I advocate in the sickle cell community, and unfortunately, that is one of the biggest conversations that we have is being treated like a drug seeker, and to have
Right.
that feeling. Tell me, for you, what did that?
You know, that just really broke me because I didn't never ask for drugs, for the pain pills. I still don't take them. Um, and I just always felt really bad that the doctors just felt like if I was just a drug seeker.
Yeah. Thank you for that. So let's talk about this as a panel discussion here, ladies. Does that drug seeker conversation fit anyone else on the panel here?
No, um, not for myself. Um, I actually had my doctor to take me off of pain medication in 2013 due to my cousin, having addiction to pain medication, and I didn't want that to happen to me, so I requested it myself.
Mm,
So when I go, they know not to even ask me about any pain medication or anything like that. They always prescribe me like Tylenol or ibuprofen.
mm.
Right.
Yeah.
And
And I'm
Alicia,
sorry that that happened to you because it does happen. I have a friend that she get really sick, so and it happens to her, and they think it's just because she wants pain medication. So
Right.
I'm sorry that you had to experience that.
and Alicia, you said you're a year almost into your diagnosis. Obviously, the medication for you is probably helping, but you've never felt that yet about.
To be honest, they just asked me. To be honest with you, do you think the medicine that we're giving you working? And I'll tell them no, because the way my lupus is near my intestines, so
Mhm.
I don't even get the full percentage of the medicine. I get like half of the percentage of the medicine.
By the
So
time you
it takes
digest it and all of that, huh?
so it takes forever for anything to, like with my steroids. We're trying to taper down, and so when now that we're tapering down, we're trying to. It took a week for my body to realize, oh, they tapering down your medicine. So once they taper down my medicine, I had to go back because I break out really bad. Because with the angioedema, it's like a swelling, so it can close up my throat. So if anything swell up, I go straight to the emergency room, and they call my team to come or whatever. So they just take my steroid. They take me back up on my steroids, and my body be so calm. But I don't take Tylenol because I feel like if I take Tylenol, it's gonna take hours or maybe the next day for it to kick in. And the pain, like I told people, the pain is horrible. It is that is like the worst feeling. Like I ask people, do y'all be on chemo? Like when they, because the doctors really did think that, oh, I want to go through what I was going through, like being in the hospital constantly. Like they really had in their mind that we're gonna put you on a higher dose of everything. We're gonna monitor your we're gonna control your lupus and everything. But in the process of everything went left. So this the last resort, to be honest with you, is this my second infusion, but this is the last resort to help me get off steroids.
May I ask you what milligram do they have you on?
Right now I'm on 4 milligrams. I started off on 60.
You
Oh
start
yeah.
off on 60?
I was on 60 milligrams, taking it twice a day.
Mm.
I was on prednisone.
Oh, I
They
heard
tried
about prednisone.
prednisone. They said prednisone wasn't working for me, so they put me on the methylprednisone. It's another kind of drug. That's not working. I've been on the highest dose of every drug, Plaquenil. I take Zyrtex. I'm on that. Even the people are you on the highest dose of everything.
Yeah, that's a lot. They started me off on 120,
Mm.
and I've realized like the prednisone and the plaquenil also messes with your eyesight.
Yeah, and then to be a diabetic, I found out I was a diabetic the 19th, the 17th. Actually, I had to go to the emergency room because I was eating something and I checked because on my Apple Watch I checked my heart rate. It was like 155. I was shaking. It was it was going crazy. So I went to the emergency room and they were like, "How's the machine on me?" and da da da. So then I went to my doctor on the 19th, like, "Oh, you're a diabetic because of the fact that you've been on steroids too long."
Mm.
And on the 21st, I had to have emergency surgery on my going because I had caught gangrene.
Wow.
So I had the
Wow.
emergency surgery, and I thought it was an abscess, but it was gangrene, an infection.
Wow.
So I've been on leave of absence for work since the 21st. I have to use a walker now because my knee is
Mm.
so heavy. I can't hardly walk upstairs, and if I do, I have to crawl upstairs. It's been a lot.
Look,
I
you
want to.
know you gonna get through it. You're
Oh,
strong, and you
yeah.
got a good community behind you. I'm here. I will inbox you
I'm
my
here.
number. You
Yeah.
we have to. It's a great community. It's a great community, and you're not alone.
Yeah.
You're not
Karina,
alone.
Karina, I want to ask you, how has your lupus diagnosis since 2015 affected your ability to work? Has it impacted um, that at all? Or
I've no, I'm still able to work. Nearly um, the company that I work for now, um, they're very good with, if I don't feel good, work from home. So that really helps out. But with my first diagnosis and the job that I was at, nobody nobody really understood. I was working in a manufacturing job, so it was really hard for them to say, "Okay, she called in again. She called
Mm.
in again." That's really hard. So uh,
and
no,
how?
and I can't afford to try to even stop.
Not today's times.
So
Um,
your job now is very understanding.
Yes, my job is.
That's good. How are you guys with the family support and the friend support?
I have a great family support. I have two older daughters, of course, my husband, and I have, my parents. They've always been very supportive. So I've got a really good support team.
And that matters. That
Yes,
matters.
it does.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
What about you, Miss Alicia?
Um, it's a hit or miss. They
Mm.
they some will understand, but they don't understand. When I say I don't feel like being bothered, I don't feel like being. They don't understand that part. They think I oh you just no. Not like when I go through my depression stage with it, I know I
Mhm.
call certain people. I
Yeah.
don't call my family because they don't understand. My aunt, she probably understand, but it's been so long.
Right.
Things changing.
Change.
Everybody experience lupus differently, but I just don't have lupus, so they will understand. Like when my skin break out, or they won't understand because sometimes when my skin break out, it triggers my flare up.
Right. Right.
They
Right.
don't
Right.
understand how much I be in pain. So when I get to my depression stage, I'll call like my best friend, or I
Mhm.
text some of my friends about it because sometimes family do understand, but they don't understand.
Yeah. I always say they don't
That,
understand sometimes because they don't know. They never been through it. But if
right.
self educate themselves, then it comes to them understanding.
Cause my doctor, when I tell
That's
you when I go to the doctor, even a doctor, she and everybody keeps saying, cause my paperwork for the hospital is thick.
Yeah. Mm.
Cause I've been going ever since September to the hospital, and they just like we trying to help you not go. But the doctors and the nurses be like, you're a strong person. It's like because
Mhm.
I don't see how you do it. Like because you on top of everything, you know everything, you own it. But they like if I was in your shoes, I wouldn't know what to do because the fact that they're trying like it's like a trial and error with me,
Right.
trying to find out what can help me. It's like I don't know. They ask me like, do you think this is working? And I'll be like, no, because they'll tell me like one of the drugs I'm on is supposed to help with my skin. And I'm like, I don't see no difference.
Mm.
Because because the thing is, whatever going inside my body, outside my body too. So with my skin is like they come out little red spots, they turn into hives, and
Mhm.
then they will try to connect together and make a big old scar on my body. So when folks see my arms or see my arms and stuff, you would think I was a drug user.
Oh yeah, I went through that stage too.
Cause
Korea.
when they was sticking me with the
yes.
needles, you could tell where they was sticking me.
Wow.
Mhm.
Karina, you had something you was going to comment on. Go ahead.
Oh, yes. Like when you're always in pain, like me, um, and then I know I sound like a broken record. I'm sorry. And it's for people who don't really understand. This is a pain that is all the time, all the time. You take an ibuprofen and it takes a little bit of the edge. But like some of my coworkers, they're like, Karina, you're always hurting. Don't you ever feel good? No, no. Your hair looks good. And I said, my hair don't hurt. It's my shoulders, you know. But I can't always look the way I feel. I said, because if I did, I'd, it'd be bad. But it's it's just really hard explaining it to people who don't know what that feeling is.
Yeah. So
Renata, you
what?
got some questions you want to bring up? Anything
Yeah,
you
I
want?
wanted to ask Miss Alicia and Miss Karina, like the you had it since 2015. You just recently diagnosed with it. Do you have children, Miss Alicia? And I know you, Miss Karina, you said your children very supportive. But
I have 3.
uh, have your children been tested for lupus?
They want my kids to test for the angioedema,
Okay.
because they asked me about the angioedema, and really nobody in my family has angioedema. Like,
Mm,
this is something new to me, and I'm still trying to learn about angioedema. Only thing I know is that it's it's a rare disease. It's very very rare. That one HUVS is with my vasculitis. That's another rare disease. Is very rare. So they want my kid to get tested for the angioedema, but as far as getting tested for lupus, they had never mentioned that to me about my kids getting tested.
okay. What about you, Miss Karina?
No, no, my daughters haven't gotten tested. I have asked them to, but neither one of them, at this point, they don't want to.
Okay. Yeah, because I think that's also important for our family to be tested, especially our
I
children.
can,
Go ahead.
yes. No, well, I kind of have a feeling that my lupus could be hereditary because I have a sister who has fibromyalgia and lupus.
Mm,
And my older sister had multiple sclerosis. So I'm, I'm thinking that ours is hereditary to some degree.
yeah. Yes,
Yeah.
and I know from Mr. Farron had mentioned to me like weeks ago, it's also our environment. He was like telling me to look that up, read about the environment that we live around because it also can produce some
Yeah.
kind of illness into our system. So it might be
Yeah.
hereditary, but it's also, like you said to me, that it's our environment as well.
Yeah,
Right.
it's definitely hard to figure, but I over these last years I've heard stress was the big trigger. Like Karina said, the car accident could have triggered,
Hmm.
that stress could have
Right.
triggered that autoimmune, gene to manifest itself. So let's talk about it is mental health awareness month. I am not a mental health provider at all, just a patient advocate, deal with my own mental health. Um,
Right.
that day to day, I know some of the lupus community they talk about spoons, right, and how much energy it takes, and so Karina, for you, how much energy does it take for you to get your day just started?
A lot. There's some days I don't have no spoons at all. None. None. I will lay in bed sometimes for about 30 minutes crying, debating. Do I get up? Do I get up? It's behind the scenes that nobody sees. And it's hard.
Alicia,
But it,
oh, go ahead, Karina. I'm sorry. Go ahead, finish.
no, I said it's good to know that there are other people that go through the same thing and know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's why, as Renata said, when I found this community because my soldier was in a car bomb in Afghanistan and his wife was home managing her lupus. I wanted to bring awareness to that cause, and when I found this community, I mean, I've been having a blast. Like they have a lot of fun. There's a lot of awareness. There's a lot of conversations today, and it's so important to have that type of support group that's empowering because we can sit at home and just suffer in silence, like you said, Karina, lay in bed for 30 minutes. Like, is today the date I'm gonna get up or not? So it's good
Right.
to have a community of people that know exactly what you're dealing with. And I'm only here to relate as a supporter, but if I put myself in your conversation with my own illness, with my sickle cell trait and the arthritis, right? So now we're talking about, body pains and things like that. I could definitely relate to you. And so for me, it's important. Why I do these conversations because we're all human beings, and we all deal with some kind of a illness, or at some point we might deal with something, but we're not different. It may be a different type of chronic illness, but the experience, as you can hear across the board, is similar to how we deal with it and live
Yes.
with it and try to survive with it. So to me, that's what I want people to walk away most importantly is don't try to understand me, but just use your imagination. If you had this chronic illness, if you felt like this, what would you do in that situation? And that allows people to look at that. Oh, I probably would lay in bed too if I was you, Karina. If I felt like that, like I probably would be in the bed too for 30, 45 minutes. So it's important for us to stop, not stop, but understanding us is okay. But if you can relate to one another, I believe that furthers the conversation past just trying to. Because if I'm trying to understand you, I'm only listening to what you're saying that I get from myself, and I'm throwing away everything else that you're talking about, and I could miss some very important stuff that you're saying that's important to you, so you can be heard. Right? Relatedness allows us to be heard. I believe. Renata, you got some more?
Yeah, I can relate to Miss Karina as well. Like I used to have to wake up at 5:30 in the morning just to get her lunch, make sure her clothes is right, make sure she wouldn't see me in so much pain when she get up at 6:30. So I would have to get up early. So I can relate to that too. And it's days that I just want to lay in bed, not be bothered in the dark. Like he said, mental health. It's a it took a minute for me to even speak about my mental health, what it affected me. I isolated myself from the world basically because it brought didn't want to be around a lot of people. It brought anxiety, depression, all kind of stuff. So I relate to you ladies, and I'm so grateful for you ladies sharing your stories. Like you guys, we all are spoons. We might have a few one day and a lot the next and none the next, but we gonna spoon it out.
Karina, anything you want, any topic you want to kind of ask the group, if there's something on your heart that you want to kind of bring to the table, you're more than welcome to kind of voice your opinion or something you want to ask question about. You have anything?
No, just like I think what medications are y'all taking? Because it seems like the Plaquenil is not working for me. So I'm kind of tired of jumping around from rheumatologist to rheumatologist, because now I'm seeing a new doctor, and that one says that I have rheumatoid arthritis.
Mhm.
So do y'all go through those different kinds of stages with different diagnosis?
Yeah,
I haven't.
I when I was diagnosed with lupus in 2012, they also weeks later diagnosed me with fibromyalgia and RA arthritis. So
Mm.
yeah, I go through those stages, but the Plaquenil, they just recently put me back on it. Well, they never took me off. I just stopped taking it, but he explained to me that I really need to be
That's
on it. I was actually taking CKLS. It's a supplement from Dr. Gauze that's it's really good for lupus. So
okay.
with the arthritis, the RA, it's very hard to find out what medication you really need because you don't want to be on blood thinners,
Mm.
you know.
Right.
So it's very hard. But I would suggest like if you have a Kaiser, like they have good rheumatologists, because it's hard to find a good doctor
It
to
really is.
really relate and understand what you're going through.
And see, I gotta see the doctors I have. They've been with me since September. They just
Hmm.
add they my doctor, his mom had lupus back when he
Mm.
was in med school, so he kind of understand. But they didn't expect me to go the way I'm going. So I have a rheumatologist, dermatologist, a dermatologist, and a allergist. I have those three on my team because of the fact that it's for the swelling and for my skin. But I had the same rheumatologist since September. I just see different people, but they all one team.
Yeah, it's good to have a team of doctors because I have three too as well. So it's good, and I've
Yeah.
been having them since 2013, 14. So it's
Seeing, I
good.
see a dermatologist also because I have vitiligo,
Mm,
and so I've been seeing a dermatologist, I think, since I was like 7 years old, which I didn't know that that was also an autoimmune
Yeah.
um,
Also,
disease. Yeah.
also, like I've been lupus been attacking my brain and my heart for what 7 years, 6 or 7 years, and my doctor stated to me and my family that I'm one of the luckiest ones because normally when it attacks like that, it moves aggressively.
mm,
So right now, like they just saying that I'm not supposed to walk anywhere by myself, but I'm hard headed. I like taking walks with my dog, so I like taking walks by myself. So, but they thank God I do have family support, but they it's very I'm very blessed and we all are, but to know that it's not moving aggressively as normal as it normally would, it's I feel blessed to be here.
I want to ask Elisa. She's still sitting there next to you. Come on, camera. I mean, Isabella. Isabella, come on, camera. Um, to hear your mom share, right? I know you've heard these conversations before of her sharing her health challenges, but mentally, like, how do you manage? How do you feel about that? How do you deal with that?
Sometimes I feel very sad because she knows how to hide her pain very well. So when she talks about it, I'm like that I didn't know you were going through that. So I feel bad at
Yeah,
some point, but I'm also like very proud that she could like hide it very well and manage herself.
yeah. Cool, cool, cool. Um, Karina, what what do you want the world to know about lupus? If I ask you that question, what do you want the world to know about lupus?
What do I want? I want for the world to know that lupus, this is lupus. Just because we look healthy doesn't mean that we are. Don't, um, how can I explain it? Um, don't judge lupus. Don't say that people use it as a crutch or something just because we don't show it. Um, have empathy for people who have lupus because you hear all the time, oh, they don't look sick. She doesn't look sick. So that's what I would like for the world to know. You don't have to look sick to feel sick.
That's the truth. Um, Alicia, what do you want the world to know about lupus?
oh, from my experience, it's been days I want to be normal. Like it's days that it's a lot. It really take all your energy because it's like some days you want to be like it's like a lot of days you want to be normal. Me just being recently diagnosed last year, it's like I was full of joy, full of life. Even the day before it even happened, I was full of joy, full of life, and everything. Like it's just days you want to be normal, but you have to take in consideration that we do go through a lot. What I'm saying? We don't know what medicine is really working for us and what don't. Just keep us in your prayers and just be understandable. And that's what a lot of people don't understand about lupus. It's like they try to. I know people asking about is it cancer? I'm like, no, it's treatable, but it's not curable. Like I can live. People who have lupus can live for a long time versus people who have cancer. I said I look at it like I'm thankful that I didn't get a death date. That's what I'm thankful for. So yeah, it's like we just have to balance it out. And I always tell people like know your family history.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I tell people all the time when I see them, like know your like not just the basics, like we know about the high blood pressure, the basics that they teach us that we know, but you gotta dig down deeper than
Yes.
what it is. I tell people all the time, just know your family history. Ask your grandma, auntie, what all people in your family dealt with. It is not just the high blood pressure and just the all that's the thing. I tell my dad like my dad have high blood pressure, my mom have an enlarged heart. They're like, but what's the I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So I just know your family history.
Thank you.
Dig,
Thank you.
dig deep.
Dig deep. Let's see, Renata, what do you want the
I want the world to know that lupus doesn't have us. We have lupus, meaning that we gonna beat it no matter what. Yes, it's gonna be tough and it's got a hard road to climb, go down, but do what you need to do to survive. Sitting around, relaxing if you need to, crying, taking time out for yourself. Do as you need to be you, feel better. Don't care, don't worry about what nobody say or think about you, none of that. Self-care is the main important thing about it when you have lupus. Because if not, you gonna go down the drain. Caring about worrying about what your family or your friends or somebody looking at you because you with a walker. If you worry about that, then that's gonna mentally stress you out and that's gonna cause you to have a flare. Don't be bothered with nobody say. You are a warrior.
Thank you so much. Alicia, I want to just touch on what you said. As a sickle cell trait advocate, and having that be an inherited gene, it is very important for people to know what's in your genes, to find out what's in your bloodline, to find out what other ailments you have is just outside of the norm that we can talk about, like you said, the high blood pressure and all that other. But sometimes you got to go and get a blood test, and that blood work is called the hemoglobin electrophoresis. If you do the hemoglobin electrophoresis, that tests your DNA. That's just one way. You can do the 23andMe or the ancestry to get deeper, but they can do a hemoglobin electrophoresis to find out if you have other inherited genes that can
Mm.
cause health complications, right? Because they say the red blood cell genes can cause from anemia to like 40 other different type of diseases that they're having a red blood cell condition. But now you talk about a white cell blood condition. So now you have this battle of the genes of the red cells and the white cells. So it's very important, as Alicia said, to find out what's in your genes and those blood works and those DNA tests. If you're willing, to do the ancestry one, you can definitely try those, the 23andMe's. But the normal blood work that we do in our sickle cell community is the hemoglobin electrophoresis. That will find out if you have any inherited genes, because sometimes those red blood cell conditions can cause secondary health complications that could lead to other things. Like I got arthritis from my sickle cell trait gene mutating with the rhabdomyolysis, and so I had skeletal muscular damage and joint damage, which onset the arthritis. So no idea that red blood cell gene could even trigger a health complication, but they can. And doing that blood work, other people have found out they have other red blood cell conditions like alpha thalassemia, beta thalassemia, and sickle cell and SD, sickle cell and SC, OA RABs. Like there's hundreds of different types of sickle cell diseases, because when those two red blood cells come together as a sickle cell trait and a C trait, then you can have their baby can have sickle cell SC, as Alicia was saying. You can pass that to your child, and your child can be born with a type of sickle cell disease other than just sickle cell SS, because those other red blood cell conditions can be passed to that child. So people have sickle beta thalassemia, and so our red blood cells like that combat malaria. So it has a purpose. The sickle cell trait gene combats malaria. So when people got malaria, they had an opportunity to survive. Well, the Asian community has their own red blood cell condition that combats malaria called alpha thalassemia. So Mediterraneans, they have C trait and D trait and OH. So each, race has their own gene that combats different things. So I appreciate you, Alicia, because that is really, for me, key is to have people find out what's in their genes. We got 5 minutes left. I want to just
I have
add.
one question.
Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead. Yeah.
How do Miss Runner, how do y'all do in the summertime? 'Cause I know they said the summertime for lupus patients is
Ah, question.
not very good. And I'm being honest, I have not really been like my friend, my friend's son graduated yesterday, and she was like, "You can't come because I ain't got time for you to be having heat stroke. You can't come outside. You can't come. You not
Oh, that's
coming."
cold. That's cold.
It was outside like 1 o'clock. She like, "No man, you can't come." Like my best
That's
friend,
cold.
like she want like I'll try to do a cruise for my birthday. She was like, "No, we can't do no cruise because we can't even fly you
You
nowhere."
trying to turn up.
So
Yeah, the
how do
sun
y'all?
is not our best friend. The
Okay,
sun is
no,
not our
now
best friend.
like how do y'all do it? Like this is my first time experiencing this. Well,
I
yeah, I try.
I wear a hoodie all year. I wear sunglasses because my eyes hurt really bad. Um, I stay in the house. The sun is not our best friend. The heat, even the cold, like we're
I know about the cold weather. Trust
but
me.
yeah,
Trust
but
me.
sunscreen,
Woo.
finding the right sunscreen.
Okay.
Wear a hat, wear a windbreaker.
Cause I'm so used to being. I'm an outside person.
Yeah,
I love like nobody more than weekend. I don't want to be stuck in. I like to be outside, but I had to ask y'all because y'all had it longer than I have, and people
yeah.
like we should just wear a long sleeve shirt. And I know I like the day I went out today, it's 87 degrees in Georgia, and I was sweating. I was like, oh, I'm not going to be outside in this heat. But I
I
want to be on
feel
a. I
you.
just want to know how it is during the summer. I know about the winter because I experienced a lot of pain during the wintertime. A lot of
Hmm.
pain. And I know. I just want to know how it is in the summertime.
It can be tough. Just put on sunscreen,
Okay.
wrap up, thin clothes, long sleeves, sunglasses, and a hat.
Good grief.
Karina, how is it for you in the summer?
Uh, it's really bad. The heat is not my friend, but neither is the winter.
Mm,
But I could handle the summer more than the winter.
really?
Yes, the winter is bad. The summer, I don't really go outside. I work inside all day. And vacation time, long sleeves, big hat, big sunglasses, and under the umbrella. We go to the beach for our vacation, and I love to be there, but I pay the price.
Is it worth it? Is it worth it?
Yes, yes, it is. Very
Definitely.
much so.
I say that same thing with my arthritis and I got an L4, L5. I guess all the cushion is going back there, so I live in a pain 7. But I tell you what, if I got the courage and I drank enough water that day or the day before, if I go to the gym, I'll play some basketball, half court or something. But I know I'm gonna be in bed for the next 2 days afterwards. But guess what? The mental freedom is worth the pain. Let me tell you, I would trade that any day,
Exactly.
any day. So I appreciate you for saying that.
Yes.
All right. Well, it's an hour. We've been here an hour. I just want to say thank you to both of you. Shouts out to Renata. She had to take off. But ladies, thank you so much for helping me wrap up this Lupus Awareness Month with me here and Renata. Um, Alicia, any last words you want to say?
No, just live life. Live life
Said live life, huh?
to the fullest. Yes. Enjoy life.
Thank you so much. Karina, last words, anything you want to say to the people?
Oh, just also live life, enjoy life, and Don't be too stressed.
Yeah.
Don't go ahead and, how they say, go ahead and eat the ice cream. Enjoy life. Don't let it get to you. What you do, just enjoy it. Remember, we may have lupus, but lupus doesn't have us.
Yeah. I
I
do
will
have one
remember
last
that.
I do have one last question before we get out of here. And Alicia, you said it earlier. I forgot to follow up with you on that. For me, you know, finding God and understanding the world may not view it this way. Some people may not view it this way, but the afflictions that the Bible talks about are supposed to draw us closer to God, right? That's what the word says. The world may have opinions about that because, again, we live with these different illnesses and chronic illnesses, and we can make it mean whatever we want. Um, but what is your the spiritual connection that anyone have? Do you want to share about that? Because for me, when I understood that we all we can have an affliction from inherited genes that we're born with. Watching too much CNN can cause an affliction because you're stressing out about what's going on in the world. Like living into the future of uncertainty can cause afflictions. Does anyone want to share about their spiritual journey on how they help manage their life with that spiritual piece of it?
Well, I can speak on mine because I had I could say I question every day why me.
Yeah.
So I'm like I'm 39 years old, and all of a sudden I'm living life. I'm like enjoying life. Like I'm outside enjoying friends, working, and then all of a sudden my whole world just got shut down. So I was like, and I was questioning God a lot, like why me? What are you trying? And I had to come to a conclusion. Maybe God is probably trying to. Maybe God is humbling me to see things that I wasn't seeing.
Mm.
So he probably sat me down to go through all this I'm going through since September, like knowing who my real friends are, knowing that I have to depend on him to like, okay, when I go through my pain, Lord just get me out this. Like Lord, I want to be normal again. Like it's more of the I am a Christian person. I grew up Baptist and everything. I was going to church, yeah, but I think God has humbled me now to be thankful for certain things because like I tell people, it could have went the other way around.
Yeah.
So it has been a lot. My faith has been rocky. I'm not gonna lie. It has been rocky because every time I go through something, like even when I go to the emergency room for having pain, I cry. I'm like, God, why me? I don't want to go through this no more. That I go to, every time I go to the hospital, I just break down, start crying, because I'm like, I just left out the hospital. I can't take a breaker. They can't get me off steroids. I'm just tired. I'm tired. And then when I get back home, you know what I'm saying, Lord, I always say, Lord, I thank you for this day, you know what I'm saying. But I my faith has been kind of shaky.
It's normal. It's normal because that again, what we make it mean, and you know, again, for me, it was like we're born, for a reason, and this conversation could be your reason to connect with other people, right? Like you said some key stuff that some women might need to hear. Hey, get your DNA, go find out what stuff. Like you said some
Right.
things that young women might not even think about because we get married and have children and we pass these genes on and no one knows. And then, like you say, you can grow up and your child can have this sickle cell disease that you didn't even know that was
Hmm.
possible because you didn't even check or know to check, though.
Because just think about it. All your like you've been going to the doctor all your life and you didn't show like when I ask people about the lupus, because trust I ask people about it all the time and I
Yeah.
tell my story. They're like, oh, my daughter had it since high school. And I'm like, dang, like I'm 30 now, I'm just find out. And so I look at like that. I tell people always that's probably the best time to find out if you have lupus is during your high school years because it's like you're young and it's like it's different than versus when you're older, when you're 39 and you have to, you need to go to work, when you in the high school, you don't have much responsibility versus
Yeah.
when you're older. So I was like, so the woman told me was like, really? it was early. It's still a good age to find out about lupus, but to me, I feel like I found out it was late.
Like, yeah.
Cause I enjoy them all my life, and then it's like boom, like okay,
Yeah.
now what's going on? So
Thank you.
I always tell people when I see people and talk to people, I always tell them, no, go, don't get the basic part of the family history, dig
Yeah.
deeper. I think if I would have
It's important.
figured out everything younger, like did the test like in high school, I
Yeah.
probably would have been more aware. And because some things don't affect us till years down the line.
Right.
But like mine did, because I really thought lupus supposed to go generation to generation, but
Mm-hmm.
it went from my aunt, my mom's sister, then it went to me. Like if she got kids, so there's only two of us that have lupus. They asked about my grandma's situation, but my grandma and all her sisters had Alzheimer's.
Mm.
All of them died behind Alzheimer's. My grandma twin sister, then
Wow.
another sister, all of them had Alzheimer's.
Wow. Again, and I look at you being 39, you could reach the women who are older than you, and you can reach the women that are younger than you.
I'm
So
in
you're right.
between.
You got right
That's
there.
exactly.
Cause I'll
She's
be
right
40
there.
I'll be 40
Right there.
I'll be 40 next week.
And 40 is a change in generation, right? You're leaving that old generation to this new generation of the elders. So thank you, Lisa. Karina, what, if any, spirituality, like how do you talk about that for yourself?
I felt just like the way Alicia did.
Yeah.
I sometimes question God. Why me? But then there's some, I praise God. I thank Him for waking me up.
Yeah.
For letting me know that I am alive, because I feel it every day.
Mm-hmm. I say that about my trait. When I have my pains, I'm like, people ask me how you feel. I'm like, hey, it reminds me that I'm alive. What can I say? It reminds me that I'm alive.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
So when folks
Yes.
ask me how I'm doing, I don't even say okay. I don't say good. I don't say, but I say I'm just trusting the process. Because that's all I can't say because if I say I feel bad, they'll be like,
Right.
oh, okay, but I don't want no sympathy. So I tell people I'm just trusting the process.
Right.
Because even when I'm getting the second infusion, I read up on it. I'm more nervous about this infusion than I was the first one.
Oh wow.
And for like they give you chemo for lupus, I guess. And when I ask other people about it, like the infusion, they're like, no, I ain't never experienced no infusion.
Yeah.
But this is my second. They're trying their hardest to get
Figure
me
it
off
out.
these steroids.
Wow.
That's the only thing that's holding me back. So they thinking that if I do this other infusion, it would help me get off steroids. So it's like a trial and error. It's a trial and error.
Yeah. Ladies, I want to say thank you for tonight. I really appreciate y'all. I'm gonna let y'all get out of here. Again, thank you so much for your time and sharing your stories with us on this lupus awareness.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, ladies. Take care.
All right.
All right. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye. All right. Well, this may be the last show for the month around lupus. I got jury duty, so yeah. My days of the week are going to be tied up Monday through Thursday. So thanks for listening in. I really appreciate y'all for watching. Catch me on KCA Radio, MBR Radio, Sunday nights at 8 p.m. That's the variety show, the Farron Dozier Show. This is the Farron D Show. You can also find shows on my Blog Talk site at Blog Talk Farron D Show as well. So special episode tonight. Again, thank you for your time. Thanks for listening and watching. And at Farron Dozier on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all platforms. Shout us out. What's the count? Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm blessed, my brother. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Hey, did you see the game last night?
Oh, that was a good game.
But did you see the shot?
I lost money from that shot.
Oh,
too,
man, that
bro.
shot was cold,
I
man.
hated it, but it was good. Damn. What's in those jeans?
You really want to know?
I do.
Exhaustion, muscle spasms, asthmatic issues, unexpected sickle cell trait crises.
Damn. Are you serious? When I was young, I found out I had sickle cell trait. My mom's told me, but I ain't have no knowledge of it. But when I got older, I had a child, and the doctor told me my daughter has sickle cell trait. You know the facts that if both parents have sickle cell trait, there's a 50% chance the child may have the trait, and 25% chance the child may have the disease.
Hey, that's what's the count. Do you know that 2.5 million people in the United States have sickle cell trait? 300 million people globally? I didn't find out I had sickle cell trait until I was in the Army 10 years. Next thing you know, I had a sickle cell trait exertion site.
Sickle cell? I thought that was a black gene or something.
Nah, man, the Latin community is number 2. 1 out of 36,000 babies are being born with sickle cell disease. You could be Caucasian, Mediterranean, European. You gotta know your bloodline, man. There is an inherited gene in our community that has been forgotten. The name is sickle cell trait. WDCONSCT, also known as What's the Count, is out to bring awareness, education, and prevention to people all over the globe. Want more information? Call us now at 323-215-5384 or visit www.wdconsct.org.